Numbers chapter 15. Laws about sacrifice. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land you are to inhabit, which I am giving you, and you offer to the Lord from your herd, from the flock of or a food offering, a burnt offering, or sacrifice, to fulfill a vow or for freewill offering, or at an appointed feast to make a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Then he who brings his offering shall offer to the Lord a grain offering of the tenth of the ephah of the fine flours, mixing your quarter of hin of oil, and ye shall offer the burnt offering with sacrifice and a quarter of a hin of wine for a drink offering for each lamb. Or for a ram you shall offer a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a third of hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall offer a third of a hin of wine and a pleasing aroma to the Lord. When you offer a bull as a burnt offering and a sacrifice, and or to fulfill a vow or a peace offering to the Lord, then you shall offer what with the bull or a grain offering of 3/10 of a ephah of fine flour mixed with half of a hin of oil, and you shall offer a drink offering, a half hin of wine, as food offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Thus it shall be done for each bull or ram, or for a lamb or young goat. As many as you offer, as you shall do with each one, as many as there are there. Every native Israelite shall do this thing in his way, in offering a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if a stranger is sojourning with you and among you, is living permanently among you, and he wishes to offer a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord, he shall do as you do. For the assembly there shall be one statute for you, and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. You and the sojourner shall be alike before the Lord. One law, one rule shall be for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, and when you eat of the bread of the land, you shall present a contribution to the Lord. Of the first of your dough, and you shall present a loaf as a contribution, like a contribution from the threshing floor, so shall you present it. Some of the first of your dough you shall give to the Lord as a contribution among throughout your generations. Laws about unintentional sins. But if you sin unintentionally and do not observe these commandments that the Lord has spoken to Moses, all that the Lord has commanded you by Moses from the day the Lord gave commandment and onward throughout your generations, then if it was done unintentionally without the knowledge of the congregation, all the congregation shall offer one bull from the herd for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. This is a grain offering and its drink offering, according to the rule, one male goat for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the people of Israel, and he shall be forgiven, because it is by mistake. And all the burnt and the burnt offering, a food offering to the Lord, and a sin offering before the Lord for their mistakes. And all the congregation of Israel shall be forgiven, and the stranger who sojourns among them, because the whole population was involved in the mistake. If one person sins unintentionally, he shall offer a female goat a year old for a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement before the Lord for the people who makes a mistake. When he sins unintentionally to make atonement for him, he shall be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who does anything unintentionally, for him who is native among the people of Israel, for the stranger who sojourns among them, for the person who does anything with a high hand, whether a native or sojourner reviles the Lord. That person shall be cut off among you, because he who despises the word of the Lord and has broken the commandment, that person shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be on him. Sabbath breaker executed. While the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation, and they put him in custody, because it had not been made clear what it shall be done to him. The Lord said to Moses, "The man shall be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp." And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him to death with stones. So the Lord commanded Moses. Tassels on garments. The Lord spoke to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel and tell them to make tassels on the corners of the garments throughout the generations, and put a cord of blue of tassel on each corner. And it shall be a tassel for you to look at and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes, which you are inclined to war after. So you shall remember and do all my commandments and be holy to your God. I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and to be your God. I am the God of your God. I'm the Lord your God." Psalm 51. Create in me a clean heart, O Lord. To the choir master, a psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet went to him after he had gone to Bathsheba. Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love, according to your abundant mercy. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sins. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only have I sinned, and have done what is evil in your sight, so that you may be justified in your words and blameless in your judgment. Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you delight in the truth in the inward being. You teach me wisdom in the secret heart. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I'll be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have broken rejoice. Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquity. Create in me a clean heart, O Lord, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit away from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with a willing spirit. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, and sinners will return to you. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O God of my salvation. My tongue will sing aloud of your righteousness. O Lord, open my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. For you will not delight in sacrifice, or I will give it to you. You will not be pleased with the burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. Do good to Zion in your good pleasure. Build up the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in the right sacrifices, in burnt offerings and whole burnt offerings. Then bulls will be offered on your altar. Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah's vision of the Lord. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." And the foundations of the thresholds shook at the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. And he said, "Woe to me, for I am lost." And I said, "Woe to me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of the people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." And one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal, and he had taken the tongs from the altar, and he touched my mouth, and said, "Behold, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, your sin atoned for." Isaiah's commission from the Lord. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" Then I said, "Here I am, send me." And he said, "Go, say this to the people. Keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. Take the part of his people Make the heart of his people dull and their ears heavy. Blind their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts. Turn to be healed. And then he said, How long, O Lord? And he said, Until the city lies waste, without inhabitants, and houses without people, and the land is desolate waste, and the Lord removes people far away, and the forsaken places are many in the midst of the land. And though a tent remain in it, it shall be burned again, like a terebinth on oak, whose stems remain when it's felled, and the holy seed its stump. Hebrews chapter 12. Jesus, founder and the perfecter of our faith. Therefore, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight, sin which clings so closely. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Do not grow weary. Consider him who endured from the sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood, and have not forgotten the exhortation that addressed you as sons. My sons, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor to be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the ones he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. It is for the discipline that you have endured. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you are left without discipline, on which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time, as seemed best to them, but he disciplines us for good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields a peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Therefore lift up your drooping hands, and strengthen your weak knees, and make straight paths for your feet, so that what is lame and may not be put out of joint, but rather be healed. Strive for peace with everyone, and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord, so that it see to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, that one root of bitterness strings up and causes trouble, and by it may become defiled. But no one is sexually immoral, unholy like Esau, who sold his birthright for a single meal. For you know that while upward, when the desire to inherit the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no chance to repent, though he sought it with tears. The kingdom that cannot be shaken. For you have not come to what may be touched, a blazing fire, a darkness and gloom and tempest, but the sound of the trumpet and the voice of whose words made the bearers beg that no further messages be spoken to them, for they could not endure the order that was given. If even a beast touches the mountains, it shall be stoned. Indeed, so terrifying was the sight that Moses said, I tremble with fear. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, to innumerable angels in festal greeting, and to the assembly of the firstborn who was enrolled in heaven, and to God the judge of all, and to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, and to Jesus the mediator of new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks better word than the blood of Abel. See that you do not refuse him who is speaking, for they did not escape when they refused him who warned them on earth. Much less will we escape if we reject him who warns us from heaven. At the time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. This phrase, yet once more, indicates the removal of things that are shaken, that is, things that have been made, in order that the things that cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, let us be grateful for receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and thus let us offer to God acceptable worship with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire.